Nephi lamented, as you know, over those who, quote, will not search knowledge nor understand great knowledge. Clearly, he was referring to a particular kind of knowledge. In fact, Joseph Smith's translation of Jesus' lamentation about how those in his time had lost the key of knowledge is a definition which adds 5 words defining what the word key means: the fullness of the Scriptures. So we see knowledge differently. Furthermore, Latter-day Saints know that certain knowledge comes only by revelation and is thereby only spiritually discerned. So we are on a different footing from the people of the world. Additionally, brothers and sisters, the Scriptures make it clear that knowledge is to be associated with other virtues, such as patience, humility, charity, and kindness. Truth includes, but is not limited to, knowledge which corresponds to reality. Things as they were, things as they are, things as they will be. But gospel truth is morally richer, therefore, than the world's definition of truth, as Terry Warner has observed. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light. He has received a fullness of truth. Hence, we are to seek to have the mind of Christ. Furthermore, as to the manner of people we are to be, it is clear we are to strive to become even as Jesus is. If we keep the commandments, the promise is that we will receive truth and light until, quote, we are glorified in truth and knoweth all things. Therefore, gaining knowledge and becoming more Christ-like are 2 aspects of a single process. It is part of becoming valiant in our testimony of Jesus. And thus, while we're saved no faster than we gain a certain type of knowledge, it is also the case, as Richard Bushman has observed, that we will gain knowledge no faster than we are saved. So we have a fundamentally different understanding of knowledge and truth. Behaving and knowing are inseparably linked. So defined, the gospel is inexhaustible because there is so much to know and so much to become. The vital truths are not merely accumulated in the mind, but are expressed in life as well. Intelligence is the glory of God, as we all know. It's defined as light and truth. The revelations also inform us that the more knowledge and the more intelligence we have in this life, we will have so much the advantage in the world to come. I do not pretend to be able to be definitive with regard to that last verse, but clearly what we carry forward, brothers and sisters, involves our capacity for cognition as well as application. And this sets us apart from the world. I hope we understand the implications of these things. What we will carry forward is more than what we now term as IQ or a database. It is the entire being of the individual. Hence, our approach to knowledge and truth and wisdom is markedly different. What are some of the implications of the foregoing? First, some of us, and I include myself, sometimes casually speak of education for eternity. Brothers and sisters, it is so clear from the verses of Scripture that some truths may turn out to have a place in a yet-to-be-revealed hierarchy of truth that the world doesn't understand. The Scriptures tantalize us by saying truth is independent in that sphere in which God has placed it. One even wonders if truths like planets belong to a particular order, but we do not now know. The highest education, therefore, includes salvational truths, bringing us a knowledge of things as they really are and things as they really will be. This can be done without leaving the usual educational chores undone. And scholars like the president of Brigham Young University, President Rexley, have surely demonstrated this. Ultimate orthodoxy, and orthodoxy isn't a popular word nowadays, but ultimate orthodoxy is expressed in the Christ-like life, which involves both mind and behavior. And Christ's manner of life is the way, the truth, and the light. And he has directed us to pursue his example. Another important implication of what we have been discussing is that all knowledge is not of equal significance. There is no democracy of facts. They are not of equal importance. Something might be factual but be unimportant, as Elder Spencer Condi has observed. For instance, today I wear a dark blue suit. That is true. It's unimportant. And the world doesn't quite understand this. And as we brush against this sense of truth that has a hierarchy of importance, we're dealing with things of transcending importance. Some truths are salvationally significant, and others are not. Another important insight is that knowledge is intended to travel in a convoy of other Christian virtues. It does not have final meaning by itself. Otherwise, a possessor of some knowledge, as Peter said, who lacketh these other things, cannot see afar off. Interesting concept. Precious perspective is missing unless knowledge is accompanied by these other truths. There are some other insights that bear down upon us as Latter-day Saints. Brilliance by itself is not wholeness, nor happiness. Knowledge, if possessed for its own sake and unapplied, leaves one's life unadorned. A church member, for instance, might describe the Lord's doctrines, but not qualify to enter the Lord's house. One could produce much brilliant commentary without being exemplary. One might be intellectually brilliant but bohemian in behavior. One might use his knowledge to seek preeminence or dominion. Such are not Jesus' ways. For he asked that perception and implementation be part of the same spiritual process. We, in Alma's words, are to give place in our lives for the good seed of the gospel to grow. And it involves a form of knowing which includes cognition as well as implementation. As we all know, Christ does not dominate us by his intellect, though he might. He leads by example and by love. There is no arrogance flowing from his, the keenest of all intellects. He does not seek to conquer or to prosper according to his genius. Now, given these foregoing views of restoration theology,